Tonight we will float together through the science of health with the wisdom of Dr. William Li on fruit and stem cells, drifting through how berries awaken dormant repair pathways, the gut microbes that whisper instructions to stem cells, fruits that quietly guide cellular renewal. There's nothing you need to do now, just let your body sink. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening. Relax, listen and learn as you fall asleep. If this health learning video helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment and hit like so others can find this calm too. But only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into the fruit and stem cells. Close your eyes if you haven't already, and imagine deep inside your body, in the quiet darkness of your tissues, there are chambers, hidden chambers where your oldest cells live. These are your stem cells, ancient, patient, waiting. They've been with you since before you were born, holding the memory of how to build you, how to repair you, how to keep you whole. And tonight, we'll discover something extraordinary, that the fruits you eat, the berries you taste, carry messages, chemical whispers that travel through your blood, finding these stem cells in their secret places and waking them gently, like sunlight through a window. Let your breathing slow. Deeper now, as we begin with blueberries, those small, dark spheres, the colour of midnight, the colour of deep water. Each one contains thousands of molecules called anthocyanins, painted in shades of purple and blue, and these molecules, they have a destination. Your brain, where neural stem cells sleep in a place called the hippocampus, the seahorse-shaped chamber where memories form, where learning happens. These neural stem cells, they can become new neurons, new thoughts, new connections, but only if they're called, only if they're nourished. When you eat blueberries, those anthocyanins cross a barrier that protects your brain, the blood-brain barrier, slipping through like music through a door, and they find the neural stem cells surrounding them like a gentle embrace. They activate pathways, signaling cascades, telling the stem cells it's safe to grow, safe to divide, safe to become. Studies show, and let your body sink deeper as you hear this, that people who eat blueberries regularly have more resilient neural stem cells, better memory, slower cognitive aging. The berries are speaking in a language older than words, the language of molecules, of shape and charge, of receptor and response. Breathe in and out, feeling your chest rise and fall, and now imagine strawberries, bright red, studded with tiny seeds. Each strawberry is a messenger carrying ellagic acid, a compound that wraps itself around your DNA, protecting it. Your stem cells, all of them, carry your complete genetic code. 23,000 genes, 3 billion base pairs, written in the 4-letter alphabet of life, A, T, G, C. This DNA is precious, vulnerable. Every day it faces threats, radiation from the sun, chemicals in your environment. Even the oxygen you breathe creates damage. But ellagic acid from strawberries, it acts as a guardian, binding to the places where damage might occur, intercepting molecules that could break the delicate strands. And in your stem cells, this protection is everything, Because damaged DNA in a stem cell, that means damaged DNA in every cell that stem cell creates. So the strawberry, humble, sweet, is protecting your future, protecting the cells you'll need tomorrow, next month, next year. Your body knows this. Even as you sleep, it's sorting the molecules, sending them where they're needed most. Let your jaw relax, your tongue soft in your mouth, your teeth not quite touching, and drift with me to blackberries, darker than blueberries, with that complex sweetness, that hint of earthiness. Blackberries carry a symphony of antioxidants, cyanidin, quercetin, catechins, each one a different shape, a different key, fitting into different locks inside your cells. And what they unlock is communication. Stem cells are listening, always listening, to signals in their environment. Is there inflammation here? Is there damage? Should I stay quiet or should I act? The antioxidants from blackberries, they quiet the noise, the false alarms, reducing oxidative stress, those free radicals, unstable molecules spinning through your tissues, searching for electrons to steal. The blackberry compounds neutralize them, donating electrons, sacrificing themselves, so your stem cells receive clearer signals, truer information about what your body needs. This is antioxidant signaling, not just protection, but communication. The stem cell niches, those special microenvironments where stem cells live, they depend on this clarity, this chemical calm, to make good decisions about when to activate, when to rest. Your shoulders are heavy now, sinking into the pillow, into the mattress. And we float to raspberries, red or golden, covered in tiny hairs, delicate, tart. They contain compounds that activate something remarkable, something called sirtuins. Sirtuins are proteins, ancient proteins found in nearly every living thing, from yeast to humans. They're guardians of longevity. When sirtuins are active, cells repair themselves more efficiently, DNA stays organized, inflammation decreases, and stem cells live longer, maintain their potency longer, remain able to divide and renew for more years. Raspberry polyphenols, particularly elagitanins that your gut microbes transform into urolithin A. These molecules activate sirtuins directly. It's as if the raspberry is winding the clock backward, not stopping time, but slowing its passage, giving your stem cells more time to do their work, more cycles of renewal, more chances to keep you whole. And let your body feel this. Feel the weight of your limbs, the softness of your breath, because this is happening right now, even now. Molecules from fruits you've eaten are finding their way to stem cells, whispering instructions, conferring resilience. Pomegranates, those jeweled fruits, hundreds of seeds packed into chambers, each seed surrounded by ruby juice. The compounds in pomegranates, particularly punicalagins, they have a special relationship with blood vessels. Your body contains 60,000 miles of blood vessels, capillaries so small that red blood cells must squeeze through single file. And every tissue, every organ, needs blood supply to survive, to regenerate. But blood vessel growth, angiogenesis, must be balanced. Too little, and tissues starve. Too much, and diseases can spread. Pomegranate compounds help maintain this balance. They support healthy angiogenesis. the growth of new capillaries into healing tissues, while suppressing abnormal vessel growth. And your endothelial stem cells, the cells that can become blood vessel lining, they respond to pomegranate signals, differentiating appropriately, building vessels where vessels are needed. Dr. William Li's research has shown, let your eyes stay closed, stay drifting, that foods can be as powerful as drugs in controlling angiogenesis, and pomegranates are among the most potent. Their polyphenols accumulate in vessel walls, protecting, signaling, guiding the stem cells that maintain your vascular system. Feel the rhythm of your heart, steady, reliable, pushing blood through all those miles of vessels, and know that fruits are helping maintain them, quietly, constantly. Now we drift to apples, that most common fruit. Easy to forget how extraordinary they are. An apple contains over 10,000 different phytochemicals, a chemical library, and many of these speak directly to your intestinal stem cells. Your intestines, especially your small intestine and colon, have the fastest cell turnover of any tissue. The lining replaces itself every few days. Millions of cells dying and being replaced, and at the base of tiny valleys called crypts, there are intestinal stem cells working constantly, dividing, creating the transit amplifying cells that will migrate up and become the absorptive surface, the barrier between inside and outside. Apple polyphenols, especially from the skin, they nourish these stem cells, but even more importantly, they feed your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your gut, and your microbiome. It's in constant conversation with your intestinal stem cells. Certain bacteria, when they feast on apple fiber and polyphenols, they produce metabolites, short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, propionate, acetate. These molecules are signals. They tell the intestinal stem cells, keep the barrier strong, maintain proper turnover, don't let inflammation take hold. This is the invisible dialogue happening in your gut, right now, as you rest. Fruit feeds microbes, microbes signal stem cells maintain the tissue, and you stay healthy, protected, renewed. Let your belly soften. No tension there, just soft breathing. And we drift through citrus groves now, oranges hanging heavy on trees, the air thick with their perfume, oranges, lemons, grapefruit, limes. They're famous for vitamin C, but that's just the beginning. Citrus fruits contain flavonoids, hesperidin in oranges, naringenin in grapefruit, eryocitrin in lemons, each one a key to different locks in your immune system. Your immune stem cells, hematopoietic stem cells living in your bone marrow. They give rise to all your white blood cells, your B cells and T cells, your natural killer cells, your macrophages. Everything that protects you from infection and disease originates from these stem cells. Vitamin C is essential for these cells. It acts as a cofactor, helping enzymes do their work, particularly in collagen formation. Collagen isn't just for skin, it's the scaffolding, the structure of your bone marrow niches where stem cells live. Without adequate vitamin C, these niches deteriorate and stem cell function declines. But citrus gives you more than vitamin C. Those flavonoids modulate immune responses, preventing overreaction, preventing chronic inflammation that would exhaust stem cell reserves. The naringinin from grapefruit, for instance. It can help metabolic stem cell health, supporting the balance of glucose and fat processing in cells, keeping metabolic stress low. Your breathing is so slow now, so easy, and we float with lemons, tart, bright, lemon compounds, particularly the flavonoid eryositrin and compounds in lemon peel. They influence something profound. Your epigenome, your genes, your DNA is the same in every cell, but which genes are active, which are silent, that's controlled by the epigenome, chemical marks on your DNA, and the proteins it wraps around. These marks can change, responding to your environment, your diet, your experiences. And lemon compounds can influence these marks, particularly in stem cells, helping to keep the right genes active, the genes for repair, for proper differentiation, for longevity, while keeping silenced the genes that lead to dysfunction or disease. This is epigenetic modulation, the fruit adjusting your gene expression, not changing what you are, but influencing who you become. It's subtle, gentle, like tuning an instrument, making sure each string sounds true. Feel your forehead smooth, no tension between your brows, and drift to grapes, hanging in clusters, red ones, purple ones, each colour indicating different anthocyanins, different gifts. Grapes are famous for resveratrol, that molecule found especially in the skins, the compound that might explain the French paradox, why people who drink moderate red wine have lower heart disease despite rich diets. But resveratrol does something remarkable with stem cells. It activates those same sirtuins we met with raspberries, but through slightly different pathways. Resveratrol mimics caloric restriction at the cellular level, telling cells, resources are scarce, be efficient, repair carefully, survive, and stem cells respond. They become more stress resistant, better at surviving in harsh conditions, better at maintaining their stemness, their potential to become what's needed. Red grape compounds support stem cell survival during metabolic stress, during inflammation, during the challenges of aging. Purple grapes, darker, contain even higher concentrations of anthocyanins, and these compounds specifically help control oxidative stress, that cascade of free radicals that would damage membranes, proteins, DNA. They accumulate in cells, in membranes, waiting, ready to donate electrons, to neutralize threats before they reach your precious stem cells. Your whole body is heavy now, peaceful, and we drift to cherries, bright red or deep burgundy, depending on the variety. Cherries contain unique compounds, particularly anthocyanins called cyanidin 3-glucoside, that have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation. It's one of the greatest threats to stem cells, because inflammation changes the stem cell niche, the microenvironment, making it hostile. Inflammation-sensitive stem cells, like those in joints, in muscle tissue, in blood vessels, they need protection. They need the signals to be clear, not confused by inflammatory cytokines, by molecules screaming danger where there's no real threat. Cherry compounds, they quiet this noise. They reduce levels of inflammatory markers, C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, TNF-alpha. And in the calm that follows, stem cells can hear the signals they need. Rest when rest is called for. activate when activation is needed, tart cherries, particularly Montmorency cherries. They're especially rich in these compounds. Studies show they can enhance tissue regeneration after exercise, after injury, supporting the satellite cells in muscle. Those muscle stem cells that repair damage, that maintain strength. Your muscles are completely relaxed now, loose, at ease, and we drift to tropical warmth, to mangoes, golden, fragrant, dripping with sweetness. Mangoes are treasure chests of carotenoids, beta-carotene, alpha-carotene, lutein, zeaxanthin. These orange and yellow pigments, they're fat-soluble, incorporating into cell membranes, into lipid-rich tissues, protecting, signaling. Carotenoid-driven repair is subtle but persistent. Beta-carotene can be converted to vitamin A, and vitamin A, retinoic acid, is essential for stem cell differentiation. It tells stem cells what type of cell to become, particularly in epithelial tissues, your skin, your gut lining, your respiratory tract. Without adequate retinoic acid signaling, stem cells become confused, differentiating improperly, or not at all. Mangoes provide the precursors, the building blocks, ensuring that when stem cells receive the call to differentiate, they have what they need to respond appropriately. And the other carotenoids, they paint themselves into membranes, where they wait, intercepting singlet oxygen, that particularly reactive form of oxygen created by light, by metabolism, protecting the delicate machinery of the cell. Breathe deeply, slowly, and float to papaya, another tropical fruit, with its orange flesh studded with black seeds like caviar. Papaya contains papain, a proteolytic enzyme that helps break down proteins, aids digestion. But papaya also provides nutrients that support digestive stem cell turnover. Your stomach, your intestines. They face a harsh environment, acid, enzymes, microbes, toxins. The stem cells here must work constantly, replacing damaged cells, maintaining the barrier. Papaya's combination of vitamins A and C, plus its unique phytonutrients, provides targeted support for these hard-working stem cells, helping them maintain the pace of renewal, preventing the slowdown that comes with age or chronic inflammation. And pineapple, with its bromelain, another enzyme that helps with inflammation. Bromelain signaling affects immune cells, modulating their activity, preventing excessive inflammatory responses, and in this modulation, stem cells benefit, particularly the mesenchymal stem cells found in connective tissues, stem cells that can become bone, cartilage, fat, muscle. These multipotent stem cells need a calm inflammatory environment to function properly, to respond to injuries, to maintain tissue structure. Pineapple compounds help provide this calm, this clarity of signal. Your breath is barely perceptible now, just the gentle rise and fall, and we drift to kiwi, that fuzzy fruit, bright green inside, studded with tiny black seeds in a ring around the center. Kiwi is extraordinarily rich in vitamin C, more than oranges, and it contains unique polyphenols and enzymes. But one of kiwi's most interesting properties is its potential support for telomeres. Telomeres, those protective caps on the ends of chromosomes, like the plastic tips on shoelaces, they shorten each time a cell divides. And when they become too short, the cell can no longer divide, it becomes senescent or dies. Stem cells, they have ways to maintain telomeres, primarily through an enzyme called telomerase, but this process requires resources, nutrients, protection from oxidative stress. Kiwi's dense nutrient profile, particularly its antioxidants and vitamin C, may help support the mechanisms that maintain telomere length, giving stem cells more divisions, more life, more ability to renew you. Feel yourself sinking deeper into sleep, into this ocean of information, and we drift now to bananas, yellow, curved, familiar. Bananas are gentle, easily digestible, and they provide specific nourishment for gut stem cells. Particularly ripe bananas provide quick energy, simple sugars that don't stress the digestive system. But green bananas, unripe bananas, they contain resistant starch. Resistant starch passes through your small intestine undigested, arriving intact in your colon, where your microbiome bacteria ferment it, feast on it, and in doing so, produce butyrate, that crucial short-chain fatty acid. Butyrate is the preferred fuel of your colonocytes, the cells lining your colon, and it's also a signal to intestinal stem cells, telling them to maintain proper differentiation, to preserve the mucus barrier, to keep the gut lining healthy and impermeable to toxins. Green banana-resistant starch feeds the specific microbes, the Akkermansia, the Lactobacillus, the Bifidobacteria, that support intestinal regeneration. These bacteria become numerous, thriving, and in their thriving, they create the chemical environment that stem cells need. Your body knows this. Even in sleep, it's managing these processes, these conversations between food and microbe, between microbe and stem cell, between stem cell and tissue, and now, floating, drifting, we come to avocados, creamy, rich, green or golden inside that rough skin. Avocados are unique fruits, fatty rather than sweet, packed with monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, and these fats carry messages. Lipid-mediated stem signaling is fundamental, because your cell membranes are made of lipids, fats, and the types of fats you eat become the types of fats in your membranes. When you eat avocados, that healthy oleic acid incorporates into every cell membrane, making them fluid, flexible, able to transmit signals properly. Stem cells, with their avocado-enriched membranes, can receive signals more clearly, can respond more appropriately, and avocados contain polyphenols too, in their flesh and especially their seeds, compounds that help control inflammation, chronic inflammation, that would otherwise damage stem cell niches, exhaust stem cell reserves, age you faster than you should age. The avocado is protecting you, nourishing you at the most fundamental level, the level of membrane structure, of cellular communication. Let your mind drift, like leaves on water, and we float to ancient fruits, figs, wrinkled, dense, sweet, packed with tiny seeds. Figs provide minerals, calcium, magnesium, iron, potassium. These minerals are cofactors, required components for thousands of enzymes, and stem cells, with their constant division, their constant production of new DNA, new proteins. They're metabolically hungry. They need these minerals. Calcium is particularly important for stem cell signaling, for the cascades of phosphorylation that transmit information from the cell surface to the nucleus. Without adequate calcium, these signals falter, and stem cells can't respond appropriately to their environment. Figs offer this mineral support in a bioavailable form, with fibre, with phytonutrients, with everything working synergistically. And dates, those caramel sweet fruits, concentrated energy, they provide glucose, yes, quick energy, but in moderation. Dates support energy metabolism in stem cells. Stem cells switch between different metabolic states, sometimes using glucose, sometimes using fatty acids, sometimes using ketones. This metabolic flexibility is important. It allows stem cells to survive in different conditions. During fasting or during feeding, during stress, dates, with their natural sugars and mineral content, support this flexibility, this adaptability, drifting now, so peaceful, to plums and their dried form, prunes. Purple plums contain anthocyanins, activating antioxidant gene expression, turning on the genes that produce your body's own antioxidant enzymes, superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione peroxidase. These enzymes are more powerful than any antioxidant you could eat because they're catalysts, one molecule protecting thousands, millions. And when plum compounds turn on these genes in stem cells, those stem cells become fortresses, protected, resilient. Prunes, dried plums. They're famous for digestive health, and yes, they help maintain gut motility, but they also support gut microbiota balance, feeding beneficial bacteria, helping maintain the populations of microbes that produce the signals stem cells need. Your breath is like a whisper now, and we drift to watermelon, pink, red, green-skinned, mostly water, yes, but that water carries citrulline, an amino acid that your body converts to arginine, and arginine is the precursor to nitric oxide, that crucial signaling molecule, that vasodilator that opens blood vessels, increases blood flow. Nitric oxide pathways are essential for stem cell mobilization, for getting stem cells from bone marrow into circulation, into tissues where they're needed, when you need healing. Your body releases signals that mobilize stem cells, and nitric oxide is part of this system. Watermelon supports this, gently, naturally, ensuring adequate nitric oxide production, adequate blood flow, adequate oxygen and nutrient delivery to stem cell niches everywhere in your body. And cantaloupe, honeydew, other melons, they support epithelial regeneration. Your epithelial cells, lining your respiratory tract, your gut, your skin, they're constantly renewed, and the stem cells producing them need hydration, need vitamins, need the gentle nourishment melons provide. Honeydew's hydration-driven cell repair is simple but profound. Cells are mostly water, and proper hydration affects everything. Enzyme activity, membrane fluidity, nutrient transport, waste removal. Dehydrated stem cells don't function well. Honeydew helps maintain the aqueous environment they need, floating, drifting deeper to peaches, nectarines, fuzzy and smooth, both containing nutrients for skin stem cell health. Your skin, your largest organ, constantly renewing, has stem cells in the basal layer. At the bottom of the epidermis, they divide, producing daughter cells that migrate upward, differentiating, becoming the protective layers, eventually dying and sloughing off. Peach nutrients, particularly vitamin C and vitamin A precursors, support this process. Vitamin C is essential for collagen-supporting pathways, for building the dermal matrix that supports the epidermis, that gives skin its structure, its strength. Nectarines, smooth-skinned peaches, concentrate their nutrients in that skin. Those polyphenols that protect against UV damage, against the oxidative stress that would damage skin stem cells, that would lead to premature aging, to impaired healing. And apricots, golden, with their high beta-carotene content, beta-carotene signaling in skin cells, protecting against photo damage, supporting proper differentiation of keratinocytes from their stem cell precursors. Your face is smooth now, relaxed, no expression, just peace. And we drift through bogs to cranberries, tart, red, floating on water during harvest. Cranberries, they're known for urinary tract health, and yes, they prevent bacterial adhesion, but they do more. Cranberry polyphenols support urinary tract stem defense, the stem cells lining the bladder and urethra, maintaining the protective epithelial layer. And cranberry compounds modulate immune responses, preventing excessive inflammation during infection, supporting the immune stem cells to produce appropriate responses, not too much, not too little, balanced, measured. Let your whole body feel weightless now, as if floating on water, and we drift to exotic berries, goji berries from the Himalayas, bright orange-red, dried, sweet. Goji berries have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years, supporting vitality, longevity, and modern science is discovering why. They contain unique polysaccharides, complex sugars that modulate immune function, that support hematopoietic stem cells, the blood-forming stem cells in your marrow. These stem cells produce all your blood cells, red blood cells carrying oxygen, white blood cells fighting infection, platelets clotting wounds. They must maintain production throughout your life, and goji berry compounds help preserve their function, their productivity, their balance. And acai from the Amazon, deep purple, packed into those small berries. Acai compounds support mitochondrial resilience. Your mitochondria, those ancient bacteria that merged with your ancestors' cells billions of years ago, they produce your energy, your ATP. Stem cells need healthy mitochondria, because while they often use glycolysis when quiescent, when they activate, when they divide, they need mitochondrial function. They need oxidative phosphorylation. Acai's antioxidants protect mitochondria, particularly the mitochondrial DNA, which is more vulnerable than nuclear DNA. Drifting, so peaceful, to elderberries, dark purple, almost black, hanging in clusters. Elderberries have remarkable antiviral properties, compounds that interfere with viral entry into cells, with viral replication, and this protection extends to stem cells, preventing viral infections that could damage or destroy them, particularly immune stem cells, particularly during seasonal challenges. Elderberry compounds prime antiviral stem responses, helping your immune system mount faster, more effective defenses, reducing the duration of illness, the severity of symptoms, protecting the stem cell reserves that might otherwise be depleted by prolonged immune activation. And currants, black currants, red currants, each colour a different medicine. Black currants support vascular repair. their anthocyanins strengthening capillary walls, protecting the endothelial stem cells that maintain blood vessel linings. Red currants offer capillary support too, but with different polyphenol profiles, different mechanisms, and together, these berries maintain the vast network of tiny vessels that feed every tissue, every organ, including the niches where stem cells live. Let yourself sink even deeper into this soft darkness and drift to see buckthorn, those orange berries growing in harsh climates, by the sea, in mountains. Sea buckthorn is unique, containing omega-7 fatty acids, particularly palmitoleic acid. These fatty acids support cell membranes, but also act as signaling molecules. Fatty acid signaling affects stem cell behavior, affecting differentiation, affecting survival, affecting response to stress. The oils from sea buckthorn, they're healing, regenerative, supporting skin repair, mucosal healing. Anywhere epithelial stem cells need to work. And mulberries, white, red, black, growing on ancient trees. Mulberry compounds are particularly interesting for glucose-sensitive stem cells, helping maintain metabolic balance, preventing the insulin resistance that would impair stem cell function. Your stem cells need proper glucose handling, too much glucose, and they're stressed, glycated, damaged, too little, and they lack energy. Mulberries help maintain the balance, the metabolic flexibility that stem cells need. Floating through Asian orchards now to persimmons, orange, soft when ripe, astringent when not. Persimmon tannins and other compounds support oxidative balance, ensuring that your reactive oxygen species, your ROS, stay in the healthy range, because ROS aren't just damage at low levels. They're signals. They tell stem cells about oxygen levels, about metabolic state, about when to activate. Persimmons help keep ROS in that signaling range. Not too high, not too low, just right. And guava, tropical, fragrant, with its vitamin C saturation. Guava has more vitamin C than almost any other fruit. And this concentrated vitamin C saturates your tissues, your plasma, ensuring that collagen-forming stem cells always have what they need. Guava polyphenols also support gut lining repair, working synergistically with fiber, with vitamins, healing microperforations, maintaining the tight junctions between cells, keeping the barrier intact. Your awareness is fading now, drifting between sleep and waking, and we float to passion fruit, wrinkled, purple or yellow, those crunchy seeds in fragrant pulp. Passion fruit provides fiber, prebiotic fiber, that feeds specific bacterial populations, particularly bifidobacteria. These bacteria communicate with intestinal stem cells, maintaining proper turnover, proper differentiation, proper barrier function. The fiber-driven microbiota support is invisible but fundamental, happening continuously. Your gut bacteria are always talking to your stem cells, and fruits like passion fruit ensure the conversation is healthy, balanced, beneficial. And dragon fruit, white or red inside, studded with tiny black seeds, with its prebiotic effects, feeding beneficial bacteria, supporting gut ecosystem diversity, and in that diversity, resilience, starfruit, shaped like stars when sliced, supporting cellular detox pathways, helping stem cells manage the metabolic waste, the damaged proteins, the oxidized lipids, that accumulate from normal cellular processes. Lychee, with its translucent flesh, sweet, fragrant, supporting endothelial stem health, the stem cells of blood vessel linings, maintaining vascular integrity, vascular youth. You're barely conscious now, awareness dissolving, and we drift through even more exotic fruits. Jackfruit, enormous, containing plant protein, amino acids that signal to stem cells, that provide the building blocks for new proteins, new cells. Durian, infamous for its smell, but containing sulfur-containing compounds, supporting glutathione production, that master antioxidant, that detoxifier, protecting stem cells from chemical stress. And olives, fruits, yes, not vegetables, containing oleuropein, that bitter compound with powerful effects. Oleuropein pathways support cardiovascular health, supporting the stem cells in vessel walls, in heart tissue. Your breath is so slow, so soft, barely moving air, and we drift to the boundary between fruit and vegetable, to tomatoes, red, yellow, orange, packed with lycopene. Lycopene, that carotenoid giving tomatoes their red colour, accumulates in specific tissues, in prostate tissue, in reproductive glands, in other lipid-rich areas. Lycopene signalling protects stem cells in these tissues, particularly protecting DNA, preventing the mutations that lead to disease. Tomatoes support stem cell protection broadly, their diverse phytonutrients working together synergistically, better than isolated compounds, better than supplements, because evolution created these packages, these fruits, to communicate with our biology. And this brings us to a deeper understanding. Berries collectively, all berries, they suppress inappropriate angiogenesis, preventing the excessive blood vessel growth that feeds tumours, while supporting healthy vessel formation for tissue repair. Dr. William Li's work has shown, drift, just drift, that we can eat to beat disease, that food is medicine, that fruits contain the instructions, the signals, the molecules that guide our cells toward health. Polyphenols and stem cell communication. It's a conversation millions of years old. Plants developed these colourful compounds to protect themselves from UV radiation, from oxidative stress, from pathogens. And when we eat them, they protect us too. They turn on our genes, the genes for stress resistance, for DNA repair, for longevity. Flavonoids tune gene expression, like adjusting the volume on thousands of different instruments, creating a symphony of health. Anthocyanins support neural stem cells particularly, those purple pigments, crossing the blood-brain barrier, accumulating in the hippocampus, in the cortex, protecting, supporting, encouraging new neuron formation, new connections, maintained cognition. Quercetin, found in apples, in berries, in many fruits, it affects inflammation-sensitive pathways, downregulating NF-κB, that master inflammatory switch, keeping it from being constantly active, constantly calling for immune responses that aren't needed. And ellagic acid, from pomegranates, from berries, supporting DNA repair directly, binding to damaged DNA, facilitating the repair machinery, ensuring that when stem cells divide, they pass on clean, intact genetic information. Resveratrol activates sirtuins. We've touched on this, but it bears deepening. Sirtuins, particularly SIRT1, They deacetylate proteins, changing their activity. They affect metabolism, affect mitochondria, affect DNA repair, affect inflammation. When sirtuins are active, cells behave as if resources are scarce. They become efficient, careful. They prioritize maintenance, repair, survival, and stem cells. Under sirtuin activation, they preserve their stemness, their potential for longer. This is molecular longevity, happening at the cellular level, invisible but profound. Your body's asleep now, but listening, absorbing, and we drift through the importance of vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is essential for collagen-forming stem cells, for the hydroxylation reactions that create stable collagen. Without vitamin C, collagen is defective, weak, and tissues fail. Scurvy, the ancient disease of sailors, was tissue breakdown because stem cells couldn't produce proper collagen, couldn't maintain the body's structure. But with adequate vitamin C from fruits, your fibroblast stem cells, your osteoblast stem cells, your chondrocyte precursors, they all produce strong, stable collagen, maintaining your connective tissue, your bone, your cartilage. And this vitamin C must be replenished constantly, because humans can't make it. We lost that ability evolutionarily. We must get it from diet, from fruits, every day. Fiber-fed microbes and stem renewal. This loop is so important. Fruits provide fiber, both soluble and insoluble, and this fiber is food for bacteria, particularly in your colon. Your colonic bacteria ferment this fiber, producing short-chain fatty acids, butyrate, propionate, acetate. These SCFAs are more than just fuel, they are signals, histone deacetylase inhibitors, affecting gene expression in intestinal stem cells, telling them to maintain proper differentiation, to preserve the barrier, to stay healthy. Akkermansia, that special bacterium living in your mucus layer, it thrives on certain fruit fibers, on polyphenols. And when Akkermansia is abundant, it supports intestinal regeneration. It maintains the mucus barrier. It communicates with intestinal stem cells, promoting metabolic health, glucose control, barrier integrity, lactobacillus species, nourished by fruit sugars and fibers. They support epithelial repair, producing lactic acid that maintains proper pH, producing antimicrobial compound that protect against pathogens, creating an environment where stem cells can work safely, effectively. Bifidobacteria maintain immune stem balance. They train your immune system, particularly in infancy but continuing throughout life. They present antigens, they produce metabolites, they ensure your immune stem cells produce appropriate populations of immune cells, not too reactive, not too suppressed, balanced. Let your mind float in this understanding. Gut barrier integrity and stem signaling are inseparable. The barrier must be maintained, because when it breaks down, when lipopolysaccharide from bacterial walls leaks into circulation, chronic inflammation results, and this inflammation exhausts stem cells everywhere, accelerates aging, promotes disease. Fruits maintain this barrier through fiber, through polyphenols, through vitamins, through the entire package working together. Microbiome diversity and stem resilience, they rise and fall together. A diverse microbiome, hundreds of species, provides metabolic flexibility, produces diverse signals, offers redundancy, And in this diversity, stem cells receive richer information, more nuanced signals about the environment. Monoculture microbiomes, lacking diversity, they provide impoverished signaling, and stem cells suffer, making poor differentiation decisions, failing to maintain tissues properly, aging faster. Fruits increase microbiome diversity, each fruit supporting different bacterial populations, different metabolic pathways, together creating a rich ecosystem. Inflammation control and stem preservation. Chronic inflammation is perhaps the greatest threat to stem cell health, because inflammation changes everything. It changes the stem cell niche, making it hostile. It depletes stem cell reserves, calling them to action continuously, exhausting them. It damages stem cell DNA, creating mutations that accumulate. Fruits, with their anti-inflammatory compounds, they protect stem cells from this fate, keeping inflammation in the healthy range, where it can respond to true threats, but doesn't constantly simmer, doesn't constantly damage. Your body is so still now, so peaceful, and we drift through oxidative stress reduction and stem survival, reactive oxygen species, superoxide, hydrogen peroxide, hydroxyl radicals. They're produced constantly by metabolism, by mitochondria, by immune responses. At low levels, they're signals, but at high levels, they're destructive, damaging lipids, proteins, nucleic acids, and stem cells with their precious DNA. They must be protected. The antioxidants from fruits, they provide this protection, sacrificing themselves to neutralize AROS, preserving stem cell integrity, angiogenesis control and tissue repair. We touched on this with pomegranates, but it extends to many fruits. The balance of angiogenesis is critical. During wound healing, during tissue growth, new blood vessels must form, but this must be controlled. Excessive angiogenesis feeds tumours, feeds diseased tissue. Fruits contain both pro-angiogenic and anti-angiogenic compounds, and somehow the body sorts them, uses them appropriately, promoting healthy vessel formation while suppressing pathological growth. This is the intelligence of food, the wisdom of whole fruits versus isolated supplements, immune activation and stem cell mobilization. When you're injured, when you're infected, your body mobilizes stem cells, releasing them from marrow, calling them to sites of damage. Fruits support this mobilization through their effects on inflammation, on signaling molecules, on the bone marrow microenvironment. They ensure that when you need stem cells, they're available, they're functional, they're ready to respond. Metabolic health and stem cell niches. The niches, those specialized microenvironments where stem cells live, they're exquisitely sensitive to metabolic state, to glucose levels, to insulin levels, to fatty acid composition. Poor metabolic health disrupts these niches, impairs stem cell function. Fruits, particularly low glycemic fruits, berries, apples, citrus, they support metabolic health, providing nutrients without excessive glucose spikes, without insulin resistance, maintaining the metabolic environment where stem cells thrive. Let yourself drift deeper still into the rhythm of life. Circadian rhythms and nutrient signaling. Your body runs on a 24-hour clock with genes turning on and off in cycles, with metabolism shifting between day and night. Stem cells are part of this rhythm. their division, their differentiation, their gene expression, all following circadian patterns, and the timing of when you eat fruit matters. Morning berries provide antioxidants when they're most needed, protecting against the oxidative stress of waking metabolism. Evening fruits might support the repair processes that happen during sleep, polyphenol timing and repair cycles. Some research suggests that polyphenols are most effective when consumed in sync with the body's natural repair cycles, with the times when stem cells are most active, when DNA repair is happening, when cellular cleanup occurs. This is chronobiology, the study of biological rhythms, and it's revealing that when we eat may be almost as important as what we eat. Fasting mimicking fruit compounds, certain fruit polyphenols, particularly those activating sirtuins and AMPK. They mimic some effects of fasting, of caloric restriction. They tell cells, be efficient, repair carefully, survive. This is why fruits can be anti-aging, not despite containing sugars, but because the sugars are packaged with compounds that trigger stress resistance pathways, that activate longevity genes. It's the whole package, the synergy, that matters. Low glycemic fruits and stem stability, berries, cherries, grapefruit, apples, plums. These fruits raise blood sugar slowly, gently. They don't spike insulin, don't create the metabolic stress that would disrupt stem cell niches. Stem cells in metabolically stable environments, they make better decisions. They maintain their stemness better. They survive longer. The glycemic impact of food is a signal, and low glycemic fruits send the right signal. But fruit sugars and insulin signaling, this must be understood carefully. Yes, fruits contain fructose, glucose, and these sugars raise blood sugar, trigger insulin. But in the context of whole fruit, with fiber, with polyphenols, with vitamins, this is different from isolated sugars, from juice, from candy. The fiber slows absorption. The polyphenols improve insulin sensitivity. The overall effect is metabolically beneficial, even though sugar is present. This is why whole fruits are protective. While fruit juice, stripped of fiber and phytonutrients, can be harmful in excess. Fructose moderation and stem health. Fructose in excess, particularly isolated fructose, can impair stem cell function, affecting their metabolism, their mitochondria. But fructose in whole fruit, in reasonable amounts, provides energy, sweetness, pleasure, without the damage, because the fruit matrix contains what's needed to metabolize it properly. Your breath is like the tide now, coming and going, barely noticed, and we drift through the color spectrum of fruits, each color a different message. Red fruits, strawberries, raspberries, cherries, watermelon, tomatoes. They contain lycopene, anthocyanins, ellagic acid, compounds that protect cardiovascular health, that support neural stem cells, that preserve DNA. Orange and yellow fruits, oranges, mangoes, apricots, peaches, papaya. They provide carotenoids, vitamin C, supporting skin stem cells, immune stem cells, epithelial regeneration everywhere. Blue and purple fruits, blueberries, blackberries, grapes, plums, prunes. Their anthocyanins cross the blood-brain barrier, support neural stem cells, protect cognition, preserve memory. Green fruits, yes, avocados, kiwi, green grapes, limes. They provide different compounds, healthy fats, unique polyphenols, enzymes, supporting metabolism, supporting membranes, supporting cellular structure. Each colour evolved to attract different animals, to signal ripeness, to protect the fruit. But coincidentally, or perhaps not coincidentally, each colour provides different nutrients, different messages for human stem cells. Whole fruit versus juice effects. This distinction is crucial. Whole fruit provides fibre that slows sugar absorption, that feeds beneficial bacteria. Whole fruit provides all the polyphenols, many concentrated in skin and pulp. Whole fruit requires chewing, which signals satiety, which slows consumption. Juice, even fresh juice, lacks most fibre, contains concentrated sugars, is absorbed rapidly, spikes blood sugar. The polyphenols are still present, yes, but without fiber's moderating influence, without the satiety signals, juice consumption can become excessive, problematic. For stem cell health, whole fruits are far superior, providing everything needed, in the right proportions, in the right matrix, skin and pulp phytonutrients. So many of the beneficial compounds are concentrated in skins and peels, in the parts we sometimes discard. Apple skins contain more polyphenols than flesh. Grape skins contain resveratrol. Citrus peels contain unique flavonoids. When possible, when organic, eating the whole fruit, skin and all, provides maximum benefit, maximum signaling to stem cells, maximum protection and support, seasonal fruits and cellular adaptation. Fruits evolve to ripen in specific seasons, to provide specific nutrients when they were most available, most needed. Summer berries provide antioxidants when UV radiation is intense, when oxidative stress is high. Fall apples and pears provide fibre and polyphenols preparing for winter. Spring citrus provides vitamin C when fresh vegetables were historically scarce. Eating seasonally, eating locally, aligns your nutrient intake with evolutionary patterns, with the natural rhythms your body expects. This may optimize how stem cells respond, how they interpret the signals, how they maintain your health. Plant defense chemicals and human repair. This is fascinating. The polyphenols in fruits, the compounds we prize, many of them are plant defense chemicals. Plants produce them to protect against UV radiation, against insects, against fungi, against oxidative stress. And when we eat these compounds, they trigger our own stress resistance pathways. They activate NRF2, that master regulator of antioxidant responses. They activate heat shock proteins that protect against protein damage. They activate sirtuins, DNA repair, autophagy. This is hormesis, the beneficial stress, the signal that tells our stem cells, be resilient, be strong, be ready. Evolutionary fruit signaling. Humans and fruits evolved together. We developed colour vision to find ripe fruits. Fruits developed bright colours and sweet flavours to attract us, to get us to spread their seeds. It's a partnership, millions of years old, and in that partnership, the signalling molecules in fruits became integrated with our biology, became necessary for our health. Removing fruits from the diet, that's an evolutionary mismatch. Our stem cells expect those signals, those nutrients. Without them, they function suboptimally. Synergy of mixed berries. Eating multiple types of berries together, strawberries and blueberries, raspberries and blackberries. This provides synergy. The different polyphenols work through different pathways, activate different genes, protect through different mechanisms. Together, they provide broader, deeper, more comprehensive support than any single berry could. This is why diversity matters, not just berry diversity, but fruit diversity overall. Each fruit has unique compounds, unique ratios, unique effects. Together, they maintain health comprehensively. Mediterranean fruits and longevity pathways. The Mediterranean diet, famous for promoting longevity, includes abundant fruits, grapes, pomegranates, figs, dates, citrus, olives, apples, pears, each contributing specific compounds, specific signals, together creating a pattern of eating that activates longevity pathways, that preserves stem cells, that extends health span. The people living longest in blue zones. They eat fruit daily, multiple servings, diverse types. This isn't coincidence. It's cause and effect, mediated through stem cells, through gene expression, through the molecular mechanisms we're drifting through tonight. Tropical fruits and immune priming. Tropical fruits evolved in environments rich with pathogens, with parasites. They contain potent antimicrobial compounds, immune-modulating polyphenols, and when we eat them, they prime our immune systems, support our immune stem cells, help maintain the balanced vigilance that protects without causing autoimmunity or chronic inflammation. Mangoes, papayas, pineapples, guavas, passion fruit, each one a tropical medicine, supporting the stem cells that maintain immunity, that protect us from disease. Daily fruit diversity and repair tone, eating fruits every day, different fruits, sets a baseline repair tone, a constant gentle activation of stem cells, of protective pathways, of regenerative processes. It's not about megadoses, it's about consistency, about daily signals telling stem cells, maintain, repair, renew, persist. This daily diversity might be more important than any single superfruit, more important than any isolated supplement, because it's the pattern, the persistence, the variety that stem cells respond to. You're drifting so deep now, almost beyond words, and we float through exotic rarities. Fruits you may never taste, but fruits that reveal principles. Mangosteen, that tropical queen of fruits, with thick purple rind protecting translucent white segments. The rind contains xanthones, unique polyphenols with powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Mangosteen compounds affect stem pathways, particularly anti-inflammatory stem pathways, reducing the chronic inflammation that exhausts stem cell reserves. In Southeast Asia, mangosteen has been used medicinally for centuries, and now science reveals why. Those xanthones modulate immune responses, protect neural tissue, support cardiovascular health, all through effects on stem cells and their niches. Acerola cherries, not true cherries, but similar. Bright red, extraordinarily rich in vitamin C, more vitamin C than almost any fruit, saturating tissues, driving vitamin C boosted repair, supporting collagen formation everywhere. Your body can only absorb so much vitamin C at once, but acerola provides it in a bioavailable form with bioflavonoids that enhance absorption, that enhance function, that work synergistically with the vitamin C to protect and support stem cells. Camu camu from the Amazon, small, tart, another vitamin C champion. Camu camu and oxidative stress reduction go hand in hand, the concentrated antioxidants providing intense protection, particularly for immune stem cells, for neural stem cells, for any stem cells facing high oxidative burden. Indigenous peoples have used camu camu for energy, for health, for vitality, and the science confirms the compounds support cellular energy production, mitochondrial function, the metabolic health of stem cells, bilberries, wild relatives of blueberries, smaller, darker, more intense. Bilberries and retinal stem cell support. The anthocyanins concentrate in eye tissue, in the retina, supporting the stem cells and progenitor cells that maintain vision. Bilberry compounds strengthen capillaries in the eye, improve night vision, protect against macular degeneration, all through effects on the stem cells and support cells that maintain retinal health. European studies show bilberry extract improves visual function, protects photoreceptors, preserves sight. Cloudberries, growing in Arctic regions, surviving freezing temperatures, producing golden berries rich in vitamin C and unique polyphenols. Cloudberry compounds activate antioxidant genes, turning on the cellular defenses that protect against extreme conditions, against stress, against aging. The very fact that cloudberries survive Arctic conditions, produce fruit in harsh climates, suggests their compounds trigger resilience. And when we consume them, we gain some of that resilience. Our stem cells gain that stress resistance. Boysenberries, a hybrid berry, dark red-purple, large, complex flavor. Boysenberries and vascular stem signaling. Their anthocyanins and L-argitinins support blood vessel health, strengthen capillaries, support the endothelial stem cells that maintain vascular integrity. Each berry, each fruit, is a medicine, a collection of molecules shaped by evolution, optimized to communicate with biology, with our biology. Elderflower compounds, from elder blossoms before they become berries, have their own effects, supporting immune function, supporting stem resilience through different pathways than the berries themselves, showing that plants offer different medicines from different parts, different seasons. Sea grape, growing by tropical oceans, tolerating salt spray, wind, intense sun. Sea grape and endothelial repair, the compounds that protect the plant from environmental stress. They protect our endothelial cells, our blood vessel linings, supporting the stem cells that maintain vascular youth. Jabuticaba, a Brazilian fruit growing directly on tree trunks, dark purple, the skin containing anthocyanins and unique tannins. Jabuticaba and mitochondrial support, the compounds protecting cellular energy production, supporting the mitochondria in stem cells, ensuring they have power for division, for differentiation, for repair. And lingonberries, northern berries, similar to cranberries, tart, red. Lingonberries and gut epithelial renewal. Their proanthocyanidins support intestinal barrier function, feed beneficial bacteria, support the constant renewal of gut lining by intestinal stem cells. In Nordic countries, lingonberries accompany meals, particularly rich meals, and this traditional use makes sense. The polyphenols help manage metabolic stress, support gut health, maintain the intestinal stem cell that must constantly regenerate lining tissue. Let yourself float completely now. No thoughts, just sensation, just the gentle information washing through you. And know that in your body, right now, stem cells are being influenced. Molecules from fruits you've eaten days ago, weeks ago, they're still circulating, still signaling, still protecting. Your hematopoietic stem cells in your bone marrow producing thousands of blood cells every second, influenced by fruit compounds in your blood, in your marrow, making them slightly more resistant to stress, slightly more likely to produce balanced immune cells, slightly healthier. Your intestinal stem cells at the base of crypts, dividing every day, producing the cells that migrate up to become your intestinal lining, influenced by polyphenols in the gut, by short-chain fatty acids from fruit fiber, by the entire ecosystem of microbes that fruits feed. Your neural stem cells in your hippocampus slowly dividing, producing new neurons, new connections, maintaining your ability to learn, to remember, to adapt, influenced by anthocyanins that cross the blood-brain barrier, by the antioxidant environment that fruits help maintain. Your muscle satellite cells, quiescent most of the time, but ready to activate when muscle is damaged, to repair, to rebuild, maintained in healthy niches by the anti-inflammatory compounds from cherries, from berries, from pomegranates. Your skin stem cells in the basal layer, constantly dividing, producing the cells that become your protective outer layers, influenced by vitamin C for collagen, by carotenoids for protection, by polyphenols that shield DNA from UV damage. Everywhere in your body, stem cells are listening to fruit. The conversation is chemical, molecular, but it's been going on for millions of years. It's a conversation your body expects, needs, depends on. And in this conversation, this molecular dialogue, lies the difference between aging rapidly and aging gracefully, between disease and health, between exhausted stem cells and resilient ones. The body knows, even when the conscious mind doesn't. It knows that fruits are medicine, that the colours, the flavours, the textures, they carry information, instructions, support. Your breath is barely perceptible now, and we drift through the understanding that this is not mysticism. This is biochemistry, molecular biology, signalling pathways that have been mapped, studied, verified, the anthocyanins binding to receptors, activating transcription factors, changing gene expression. This is measurable, observable, real. The butyrate from fiber fermentation, inhibiting histone deacetylases, changing chromatin structure, affecting which genes are accessible. This is mechanism. This is how fruit fiber becomes stem cell health. The vitamin C donating electrons, reducing oxidized compounds, protecting membranes, serving as cofactor for enzymes that build collagen. This is chemistry. This is why scurvy causes tissue breakdown and vitamin C prevents it, the resveratrol activating CERT1, which deacetylates proteins including histones and transcription factors, affecting metabolism, DNA repair, inflammation. This is the molecular basis of great benefits. Every benefit we've drifted through, it has a mechanism, a pathway, a scientific explanation. This isn't faith healing, it's food working the way food is supposed to work, providing not just calories, not just basic nutrients, but information, signals, molecules that guide cellular behavior toward health. And the beauty is, you don't need to understand the mechanisms. Your body understands. Your cells have receptors that recognize these compounds, pathways that respond to them, genes that activate or silence in response. All you need to do is eat fruits, diverse fruits, colorful fruits, whole fruits, regularly, and your stem cells will receive the signals they need. Simple, ancient, elegant. Feel yourself drifting, dissolving into sleep, knowing that even as you sleep, the work continues. The molecules from today's fruits are finding their destinations, binding to receptors, entering cells, affecting gene expression. Your gut bacteria are fermenting today's fiber, producing tomorrow's beauty rate, which will signal your intestinal stem cells, maintaining your barrier, protecting your health. The anthocyanins you consumed are circulating, crossing barriers, accumulating in tissues, providing protection that will last for hours, for days, creating a baseline of cellular health. This is happening quietly, invisibly, but it's real. Measurable changes in gene expression, in protein production, in cellular behavior, all because you ate fruit. And over time, over weeks, months, years, these daily signals accumulate. They preserve stem cell function, maintain stem cell reserves, slow the aging of stem cell niches, and in preserving stem cells, they preserve you, your ability to heal, to regenerate, to maintain health, to live longer, better. The research is clear. People who eat fruits regularly live longer, have less disease, maintain better cognitive function, better physical function, better quality of life in older age. And we now know why, at least in part. It's the stem cells. It's the preservation of regenerative capacity, of repair capacity, of the cellular reserves that keep us whole. This is longevity, not living forever, but living well, maintaining function, maintaining vitality, compressing the period of morbidity, expanding the period of health span. And fruits are part of the answer. Not the only part, but an important part, a delicious part, an accessible part. You don't need expensive supplements, exotic superfoods, complicated protocols. You need berries from the market, apples from the orchard, citrus from the grove, whatever grows, whatever's available, eaten regularly, eaten diverse, eaten whole. This is democratic medicine, evolutionary medicine, medicine that's been working for millions of years, before we understood it, before we could measure it, before we could prove it. But now we can prove it. We can measure the changes in oxidative stress markers, in inflammatory cytokines, in DNA damage, in telomere length, in stem cell function. The evidence supports what traditional peoples always knew, that fruits are healing, protective, life-giving. Let yourself sink completely now into the deepest sleep, where cellular repair happens, where growth hormone releases, where autophagy cleans damaged proteins and organelles, where stem cells do some of their most important work. Sleep itself is regenerative, and the fruits you eat support this regeneration, provide the nutrients for repair, the antioxidants for protection, the signals for appropriate gene expression. Everything works together. Sleep and food, exercise and rest, stress and recovery. And in the balance, health emerges. Your stem cells are part of this balance. They're the reserve, the backup, the repair crew, and they need care, need nourishment, need protection. Fruits provide this, have always provided this, will continue to provide this, as long as we eat them, as long as we remember, as long as we honor the ancient partnership between plants and humans. The seeds we spread, the fruits we eat, it's symbiosis, mutual benefit, evolutionary relationship. And in that relationship, in that eating, lies medicine, lies longevity, lies the support our stem cells need, drifting now so deep into darkness, into silence, into the space between thoughts, where only breath remains, and even breath is fading, becoming automatic, becoming invisible. And in this space, this quiet, the body works. Trillions of cells, each one a universe, each one containing complexity beyond comprehension, each one part of you. And among those trillions, the stem cells, perhaps only a few million, a tiny fraction, but so important, so powerful, holding the future, holding the potential, holding the ability to replace what's lost, repair what's broken, maintain what's precious. These cells are you, the most essential you, the you that persists, that regenerates, that continues, and fruits nourish them, protect them, guide them. Such a simple thing, eating fruit, yet so profound in its effects. Let this be the last thought, as sleep takes you completely, that healing is happening, regeneration is occurring, stem cells are being supported, all because of fruits, simple fruits, ancient fruits, fruits that have sustained humans since the beginning. And tomorrow, when you wake, the work will have been done, repair completed, renewal achieved. Another day of stem cell health, another day of cellular maintenance. And if you eat fruits tomorrow too, and the next day, and the day after, the benefits compound, accumulate, build, creating over time a foundation of health, a reserve of resilience, a protection against disease and decline. This is the path, not complicated, not expensive, not difficult, just fruits, regularly, diverse, whole, allowing them to do what they've always done, support life, promote health, nourish the cells that keep us alive. Sleep now, deep, peaceful, restorative. Let the stem cells work, let the body heal, let the fruits you've eaten provide what's needed, and know that tomorrow you'll wake renewed, not completely transformed, but slightly better, slightly more repaired, slightly more protected, and over all the tomorrows, all the fruits, all the daily signals to stem cells, health persists, vitality continues, life extends, not forever, but longer, better, with more years of function, more years of clarity, more years of capacity. This is the promise of fruits and stem cells, the science of longevity, the wisdom of eating well, sleep, drift, dissolve into rest. The body keeps healing, silently, efficiently, intelligently, using what you've given it, the nutrients, the signals, the support. And in the morning, you'll barely notice. The changes are too subtle, too gradual, but they're real, measurable, meaningful, day by day, fruit by fruit, stem cell by stem cell. Health is maintained, extended, preserved. This is enough, more than enough, to rest in, to sleep in, to dream in. The fruits are doing their work, the stem cells are responding, the body is healing. Nothing more is needed, nothing more is required. Just this quiet process, this ancient mechanism, this molecular conversation between food and cell, between plant and human, between environment and genome. Rest in this, float in this, disappear into this. The knowledge, the science, the understanding, let it sink into your sleeping mind, into your unconscious knowing, into the cells themselves, which already know, which have always known, which will continue to know long after consciousness fades. The body keeps healing, fruit-nourishing stem cells quietly, and we keep drifting, floating through darkness, through the quiet space where repair happens, where renewal occurs, where stem cells make their slow, patient work of maintaining you, keeping you whole, keeping you alive, each fruit a small medicine, each compound a signal, each pathway a route to health. Together they create what doctors seek, what pills promise, what everyone wants: sustained health, extended vitality, graceful aging, the compression of disease into a smaller window, the expansion of health span across more years. This is real. This is achievable. This is happening in bodies that eat fruits, that nourish stem cells, that support the regenerative capacity that evolution provided, drifting deeper still, past thought, past awareness, into pure rest, pure restoration, where the body works without direction, without consciousness, without interference, just cells doing what cells do, when they have what they need, when they're protected, when they're signaled appropriately. This is the state, the healing state, the state where stem cells are most active, most effective, most able to do their work. And fruits helped create this state with their nutrients, their signals, their support. Simple, profound, true. Let go completely now. Let sleep take you fully, beyond words, beyond science, beyond understanding, into the pure rest where nothing is needed, nothing is required, nothing is wanted except this peaceful dissolution into sleep, into healing, into the night where stem cells work their quiet magic, maintaining, repairing, renewing. The fruits have done their part. Now sleep does its part, and in the morning you'll wake, slightly renewed, slightly repaired, ready to eat fruits again, to support stem cells again, to maintain health again. This is the cycle, the pattern, the way. Sleep and wake, eat and fast, stress and recover, with fruits providing consistent support through all of it, stem cells responding through all of it, health emerging from all of it. Rest now, deeply, completely. The body knows what to do, the stem cells know what to do, the fruits have provided what's needed. Nothing else is required, just this surrender to sleep, to healing, to the quiet work of cellular maintenance that happens every night, that will happen tonight, that is happening now, drifting, fading, dissolving, becoming just breath, just heartbeat, just the minimal consciousness that maintains life while you sleep, while you rest, while you heal. The story continues, but you don't need to follow it. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to understand. Just sleep. Just rest. Just let go. The stem cells will keep working. The fruits will keep nourishing. The body will keep healing, whether you're aware or not, whether you're conscious or not, whether you're awake or asleep. This is trust. Trusting the body. Trusting the billion-year evolution of cellular machinery. Trusting the million-year relationship between humans and fruits. Trusting the mechanisms that science is only beginning to understand, but that work regardless, that have always worked, that will continue working. Your consciousness is almost gone now, just the faintest awareness, the thinnest thread connecting you to waking, and even that is fading, thinning, disappearing into darkness, into silence, into the void where true sleep lives. And in that void, the body works. Stem cells respond to signals from fruits eaten hours ago, days ago. They're activating genes for stress resistance, for DNA repair, for proper differentiation. They're remaining quiescent when quiescence is appropriate, activating when action is needed, dividing when division serves health. All this happens automatically, optimally, when the environment is right, when the signals are clear, when the nutrients are adequate. And fruits help create this environment, this clarity, this adequacy. Deep in your bone marrow, in the spaces between bone trabeculae, hematopoietic stem cells rest in their niches, supported by stromal cells, bathed in cytokines and growth factors, and the compounds from fruits are there, in the blood perfusing the marrow, antioxidants reducing oxidative stress, polyphenols modulating inflammation, vitamins providing cofactors for enzymes. These stem cells will produce your blood cells tomorrow, your immune cells, your oxygen carriers, your clotting factors, everything that flows through your vessels, and they'll produce them slightly better because of the fruits you ate, slightly more balanced, slightly more functional, slightly more protective. In your gut, at the base of intestinal crypts, intestinal stem cells are dividing right now, even as you sleep, producing transit amplifying cells that will migrate up the crypt, differentiating into enterocytes, goblet cells, enteroendocrine cells, all the specialized cells that line your intestines, and the short-chain fatty acids from fruit fiber, the butyrate produced by bacteria fermenting that fiber. It's signaling these stem cells, telling them to maintain barrier integrity, to differentiate properly, to preserve the mucus layer, to keep the outside out and the inside in. This is happening now. This conversation between microbe and stem cell, mediated by molecules from fruits eaten today, sustained by the pattern of eating fruits daily, protected by the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds that fruits provide. In your hippocampus, in that seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain, neural stem cells are mostly quiet, but some are dividing, producing new neurons that will integrate into existing circuits, new connections that will support memory, learning, mood, adaptation. And the anthocyanins from berries, they crossed the blood-brain barrier. They're in the hippocampal tissue, providing antioxidant protection, modulating inflammation, supporting synaptic plasticity, maintaining the environment where neurogenesis can occur. These new neurons, born tonight, they'll be slightly healthier, slightly more likely to survive, slightly better integrated because of the berries you ate, because of the consistent pattern of berry consumption that maintains brain health over time. In your skin, in the basal layer of your epidermis, skin stem cells are producing keratinocytes, the cells that will migrate upward, flatten, eventually die, and slough off, providing your waterproof barrier, your protection against the environment, and the vitamin C from citrus, from kiwis, from strawberries. It's being used right now by enzymes that build collagen, that create the dermal matrix supporting the epidermis, the carotenoids from mangoes, from apricots. They're in skin cells, protecting against oxidative damage, supporting proper differentiation. Tomorrow's skin, slightly stronger, slightly more resilient, slightly better protected because of today's fruits. In your muscles, satellite cells rest between muscle fibers and their surrounding membranes, quiescent, dormant, but ready, waiting for the signal that muscle has been damaged, that repair is needed, that growth is called for. And the cherry compounds, the pomegranate polyphenols, they're maintaining these cells, keeping their niches healthy, keeping inflammation low, ensuring that when activation is needed, these stem cells will respond, will proliferate, will fuse with muscle fibers, will repair and rebuild. Your muscle strength tomorrow, next month, next year, depends on these satellite cells, on their health, on their capacity to respond. And fruits help maintain this capacity, this potential, this reserve everywhere in your body, in every tissue. Stem cells are working or resting as needed, responding to their local environments, to the signals they receive, to the nutrients available, and fruits are part of this environment, part of these signals, part of these nutrients. The relationship is ancient, older than humanity. Fruits and primates evolved together, co-evolved, became interdependent, and that interdependence is written into our biology, into the receptors on our cells, into the pathways that respond to fruit compounds, into the needs our stem cells have for what fruits provide. Removing fruits from the diet, that's removing something fundamental, something expected, something needed. And while the body can survive without fruits, at least for a while, it doesn't thrive. Stem cells become more vulnerable, more likely to be damaged, less able to maintain tissues, less able to repair, less able to regenerate. The result over years is accelerated aging, earlier disease, shortened health span, reduced quality of life in later years. But eating fruits consistently, diversely, that's providing what's expected, what's needed, what's beneficial. The result, over years, is preserved stem cell function, maintained regenerative capacity, extended health span, sustained quality of life, graceful aging rather than rapid decline. This is a choice, made daily, made with every meal, made with every trip to the market. Do you buy fruits? Do you eat them? Do you provide what your stem cells need? The choice seems small, insignificant. Just fruit, but the consequences accumulate, compound, become meaningful over time. And the beautiful thing is, it's never too late to start. Stem cells respond to improved nutrition quickly. Research shows that even people who begin eating healthier diets later in life, they still benefit, still see reduced disease risk, still experience better function. Your stem cells are resilient, adaptive, responsive. Give them what they need, and they'll respond, they'll improve, they'll serve you better. And what they need is what fruits provide. The vitamins for cofactors and signaling, the minerals for enzyme function and structure, the fiber for microbiome health and short-chain fatty acid production, the polyphenols for gene expression and pathway modulation, the antioxidants for oxidative stress protection, all of it together, synergistically, in the proportions that nature determined, that evolution optimized, that science is now validating, floating now in the deepest sleep where dreams might come or might not, where consciousness has dissolved, where only the body remains, working, healing, maintaining. And in this state, this deep restorative sleep, stem cells are most active in some tissues. Growth hormone peaks during deep sleep, and growth hormone affects stem cells, mobilizes them, activates them, supports their function. Sleep and nutrition, they work together. Sleep without good nutrition, the repair is limited. Nutrition without sleep, the signals aren't optimal. Together, sleep and fruits, they create the conditions for stem cell health, for tissue maintenance, for longevity. This is integrative, holistic, not in a mystical sense, but in a systems biology sense. Everything affects everything. Diet affects sleep, affects stem cells, affects health, affects quality of life, affects longevity. And fruits are one lever, one intervention point, one place where you can influence the system, steering it toward health, toward resilience, toward extended vitality. Such a simple lever, yet so powerful in its effects, because it's working with biology, working with evolution, working with mechanisms that have been refined over millions of years to respond to these exact compounds, these exact signals, these exact nutrients. The body wants to be healthy, wants to maintain itself, wants to repair and regenerate. It has all the machinery, all the programming, all the capacity. What it needs is support, resources, the right environment, and fruits are part of providing that, part of creating the conditions where health emerges, where stem cells function optimally, where tissues maintain themselves, where aging is slowed, where disease is prevented, where life is extended and improved. This isn't magic, it's not supernatural, it's just biology, working the way it's supposed to work when given what it needs. And what it needs includes fruits, has always included fruits, will always include fruits, as long as humans exist, as long as we have the bodies we evolved, the biology we inherited from our ancestors who ate fruits, who depended on fruits, who thrived because of fruits. That dependency hasn't changed. Our biology hasn't changed. Not in the few thousand years since agriculture, not in the few hundred years since industrialization, not in the few decades since processed foods became dominant. Our cells still expect fruits. Our stem cells still need fruits. Our health still depends on fruits. And so we return to the simple truth. Eat fruits, diverse fruits, whole fruits, regularly. and stem cells will respond. Tissues will be maintained, health will persist, life will extend. The science supports it. Thousands of studies, decades of research, clear mechanisms, measurable outcomes. But beyond science, there's experience. Millions of people, over thousands of years, eating fruits, staying healthier, living longer, maintaining function, sustaining vitality. The wisdom traditions knew the Mediterranean diet, the Okinawan diet, the Blue Zones, all emphasize fruits, all include them regularly, all recognize their importance. Modern science is simply explaining what traditional wisdom already understood, that fruits are essential, protective, life-giving, that they support health in fundamental ways, that they deserve a central place in the diet, in the daily pattern of eating that sustains us. So rest now, in this knowledge, in this understanding, in this truth, that fruits and stem cells and health are interconnected, that eating fruits is supporting stem cells, is maintaining health, is extending life, all linked, all connected, all part of the same system, the same biology, the same you. And tomorrow, when you wake, you can choose fruits or not, stem cell support or not, health maintenance or not. The choice is yours, always yours, made fresh each day, each meal, each moment. But know what you're choosing, understand the consequences, recognize the connection between what you eat and how your stem cells function, between how your stem cells function and how you age, between how you age and how you live your later years. It's all connected, and fruits are part of the connection, part of the web of causality that links today's choices to tomorrow's health, this year's habits to next decade's vitality. Choose wisely, choose consistently, choose fruits, and your stem cells will thank you, silently, invisibly, but meaningfully, by continuing to work, to maintain, to repair, to regenerate, by keeping you healthier for longer, by extending the years when you can do what you want, enjoy what you love, be who you are. This is the gift of fruits, not immortality, not perfection, but sustained function, maintained capacity as a preserved potential, the ability to keep living fully for more years, to compress disease into fewer years at the end, to expand health span across more of lifespan. This is achievable, this is real, this is supported by science and validated by experience, and it starts with simple things, with berries at breakfast, with apples as snacks, with citrus in salads, with tropical fruits in smoothies, with whatever fruits you enjoy, prepared however you prefer, as long as they're whole fruits, not juice, not extracts, not supplements, but actual fruits with all their components working together, synergistically, optimally, the way evolution designed them. Sleep deeper now. Let go of even this understanding, this knowledge. Let it sink into unconscious knowing, into the cellular wisdom that operates beneath awareness, beneath consciousness, beneath thought. Your body knows, even if your mind forgets. Your cells know, even if you don't remember. Your stem cells know, even without you telling them. They know what to do with fruit compounds. They've known for millions of years. They'll keep knowing, keep responding, keep benefiting, as long as you keep eating fruits. This is automatic, instinctive, biological. don't have to micromanage it. Don't have to understand every mechanism. You don't have to memorize every pathway. Just eat fruits and trust your biology to do the rest, to sort the molecules, to send them where they're needed, to use them appropriately, to gain the benefits that fruits offer. Your cells are smarter than you, older than you, more experienced than you. They've been doing this for billions of years. They know what they're doing. They just need the raw materials, the signals, the support that fruits provide. Give them that consistently, and they'll handle the rest. They'll maintain you, repair you, keep you functioning, keep you healthy, keep you alive and thriving for as long as they can, which is longer, significantly longer, when they have what they need, when you eat fruits, when you support your stem cells. This is the final understanding, the ultimate simplicity beneath all the complexity, the practical wisdom beneath all the science. Eat fruits, support stem cells, maintain health, extend life. 4 steps, simple steps, powerful steps, achievable steps, and it starts tomorrow when you wake with fruit at breakfast, with the first signals of the day going to your stem cells, telling them you're supported, you're nourished, you can maintain, you can repair, you can keep working, keeping this body healthy, keeping this life going, keeping this person thriving. But for now, sleep, deep, dark, restorative sleep, where none of this matters, where everything is automatic, where the body does its work without direction, without consciousness, without anything except the resources you've provided, the nutrients you've eaten, the support you've given, including the fruits, always the fruits, nourishing stem cells, quietly, constantly, effectively. Sleep and let the healing happen. Let the repair occur. Let the regeneration proceed, all supported by fruits eaten today, sustained by patterns of eating fruits daily, protected by the consistent nourishment of stem cells over time. This is enough. This is complete. This is the story, the science, the wisdom, the truth about fruits and stem cells and health and longevity, simple truths, complex mechanisms, but the action required is simple. Eat fruits regularly, diverse, whole, and the outcome is complex, maintained, sustained, extended health, vitality, function, life. Rest in this, float in this, dissolve into this, becoming just body, just breath, just heartbeat, just the fundamental processes of life, continuing, persisting, being sustained by everything working together, including fruits, always fruits, supporting stem cells, supporting health, supporting you. The body keeps healing, fruit nourishing stem cells quietly, and will keep drifting, floating together. Through health science, through the understanding that food is information, that fruits are signals, that stem cells are listening, that health emerges from thousands of daily choices, including the choice to eat fruits, to nourish stem cells, to support the regenerative capacity that keeps us whole. This choice is always available, always accessible, always powerful. No matter your age, your current health, your past choices, you can always choose fruits, and your stem cells will always respond. They'll always benefit. They'll always improve, given what they need, given the support they've been waiting for, perhaps for years, perhaps for decades. It's never too late, never too early, never wrong time to eat fruits, to support stem cells, to invest in health, to choose longevity. And it's never complicated, never expensive, never difficult, just fruits from the market, from the garden, from the tree, eaten fresh, enjoyed fully, savoured completely, while knowing, understanding, appreciating that every bite is medicine, every fruit is healing, every day of eating fruits is a day of supporting stem cells, maintaining tissues, preserving health, extending life. Such simple medicine, such accessible medicine, such effective medicine. Fruits, just fruits, doing what they've always done, nourishing humans, supporting health, enabling longevity through their effects on stem cells, on gene expression, on cellular function, on tissue maintenance, on whole body health. This is the story, now complete, all the topics woven together, all the fruits mentioned, all the mechanisms explained, all the wisdom shared, everything you need to understand why fruits matter, why stem cells matter, why the connection between them matters, why eating fruits daily is one of the most important things you can do for your health, your longevity, your future self. Now rest deeply, completely, finally, with nothing more to learn, nothing more to understand, nothing more required, just sleep, just healing, just the body doing what it does best, maintaining itself when given what it needs, including fruits, always fruits. The story ends where it began, with the understanding that healing is constant, that fruit nourishes stem cells, that we drift through this knowledge, floating together through a health science, learning even as we sleep, absorbing even as we rest, benefiting even without trying, because the body knows, the cells know, the stem cells know, and they respond, always respond, to fruits, to nourishment, to support. This response is automatic, ancient, reliable, tested by millions of years of evolution, validated by thousands of scientific studies, experienced by billions of people across all of history. Fruits work, they support stem cells, they maintain health, they extend life, not dramatically, not obviously, but steadily, consistently, meaningfully, over time, over years, over decades, leading to better aging, less disease, more vitality, more years of quality living. This is what science tells us. This is what wisdom teaches us. This is what experience shows us. Eat fruits, support stem cells, maintain health, live longer, live better. And now you know, consciously or unconsciously, awake or asleep, you know, and knowing, you can choose, and choosing, you can act, and acting, you can benefit, you can gain, you can improve, you can support your stem cells, you can maintain your health, you can extend your life. But all that is tomorrow, tomorrow's choice, tomorrow's action, tomorrow's benefit. Tonight, right now, this moment, there's only sleep, only rest, only the gentle darkness where consciousness fades, where thought stops, where nothing remains except the body, breathing, beating, being maintained by stem cells, supported by fruits, sustained by the wisdom of eating well, of nourishing deeply, of caring for the cellular foundation of health. Sleep now, completely, finally, totally, letting go of everything, even this story, even this knowledge, even the words that are fading, fading, fading into silence, into darkness, into the void where only life remains, pure life, uncomplicated, unself-conscious, just existing, just continuing, just being, supported, maintained, nourished by everything working together, including fruits, always fruits, quietly nourishing stem cells, quietly supporting health, quietly enabling longevity, quietly, quietly, quietly. The body keeps healing, fruit nourishing stem cells quietly, and will keep drifting, floating together through health science, forever learning, even in sleep, even in silence, even in the deep rest where stem cells work, where repair happens, where regeneration continues, where fruits support, where health persists, where life extends, moment by moment, day by day, fruit by fruit, stem cell by stem cell, creating health, maintaining vitality, enabling longevity, supporting life. The body keeps healing, fruit nourishing stem cells quietly, and will keep drifting, floating together. Through health science, always, continuously, eternally, the cycle continues, the pattern persists, the mechanism works. Fruit supports stem cells maintain tissues, tissues create health, health enables life, life appreciates fruits, and the cycle completes, begins again, continues forever, as long as we eat, as long as we choose, as long as we remember. Fruits, always fruits, supporting stem cells, supporting health, supporting us. The body keeps healing, fruit nourishing stem cells quietly, and will keep drifting, floating together through health science.